おはようございます。英検1級二次試験、2分間スピーチ、をですね、まあ、新しい原稿をちょっとやるのもなんなんで、っていうか、今ストップしてますんでね、お経スピーチですね、つまんないと思いますが、70番台ですね、全部で10問、やってみようかなと思います。今1日60、100から、34だから、67個か。67個なんで、まあ、7分の1ぐらいってことですかね。約20分になると思いますが、よろしくお願いします。では、まず1個目。is enough being down to abandon a house ですね。Today's topic is enough is being down to the abandoned house. My answer is clearly no. While a lot of efforts are being made, the scale of this issue is much larger. Today I'm going to talk about the three things: current situation, several causes, and government initiative. Firstly, let's talk about the current situation. As of October 2023, there were about 9 million abandoned houses here in Japan. And other estimates suggest the actual number is much larger. Secondly, there are several causes. One major cause is demographic shift. Aging, shrinking population, and urban migration has been making a lot of kids. And actually, when elderly owners pass away or move into nursing homes, their homes are left empty, especially rural area. And at that time, a lot of kids are inherited to young owners, but they don't want to live in, refurbish, or demolish them. Finally, let's talk about the government initiative. Uh, in 2050, the central government made law, and thanks to this law, local governments have more powers to high-risk properties. For example, they give warning to young owners, and if the owners don't obey the warnings, local government can demolish them at owners' expense. In conclusion, both local and central government try to deal with IKEA problems, but there are many ongoing challenges. Thank you. ということで、はい。1分40秒です。どうでしょうか。まあまあ。はい、78番ですね。agree or disagree globalization as a positive force in today's world ですね。Today's topic is agree or disagree. Globalization is a positive force in today's world. Okay, globalization is one of the keywords which we often heard in the general election of upper members because one of the popular parties, the Sansi Party, strongly opposes globalization. And my opinion is almost the same as theirs. I disagree with globalization. Today, I'm going to talk about three drawbacks: disparity, erosion of sovereignty, and hindrance to world peace. Firstly, globalization aggravates disparity between the rich people and poor people. For one thing, free trade agreements are among the ways to promote globalization, but they focus on economic growth and efficiency. As a result, they create a lot of jobless people and a large income difference between rent seekers or a small number of rich and wealthy people and the others, especially low-wage workers. Secondly, globalization fosters erosion of sovereignty. エロージョンプソブリンティって言ったかな。なんだ。Erosion sovereignty. And in Japan, a lot of lands are bought by foreign capitals, especially Chinese capitals. Also, authorities from politics to business have been occupied by naturalized Japanese little by little. This shows that the sovereignty of Japan is a great risk now. Finally, globalization often hinders world peace. For example, Russia-Ukraine war. Many developed nations, especially NATO nations, strongly support Ukraine. Those supporting Russia sometimes send troops and weapons to Russia, and some countries have bought natural resources from Russia, despite strong sanctions on them. In conclusion, globalization has more negative impact than the positive ones. うわ、今ちょっと途中休んじゃって2分3秒でございました。はい。なんか最初、色上もしかして俺モチベーションって言っちゃったかなって思って。 ちょっと今日レコーディングしてないんでごめんなさい。では次行きましょう。はい、77番。Can world hunger ever be eliminated? ね。はい。Today's topic is Can world hunger ever be eliminated? In my opinion, at present there are a lot of people who are suffering from hunger. Uh, but from long time point of view, there are a lot of effective ways. Today I'm going to cover both of them. Firstly, at present, there are a lot of people who are suffering from hunger, especially those caught in the crossfire of international conflict, such as people in Gaza and Iran. And so provision of food is necessary for their survival, and to do so, humanitarian aid by UN is necessary. Now we should stop sending any money and weapons to any conflict. Instead, we should send food to the needy country for their survival. However, in the long run, there are a lot of effective ways. For example, seafood industry is one of them because seafood is the one which gives us a lot of nutrients like protein, fat, and carbohydrate. Also, seafood resource is much more than non-food resource. And if marine ecosystem is well maintained, it can create itself automatically. And among them, aquaculture fishery is very important because it has produced more than half of total consumption of seafood. And with regard to agriculture, big farmers strongly introduce smart technology and recruiting young farmers. And small farmers should focus on local production, local consumption, like organic farming, by using subsidies and small loans. And I think animal and plant cloning will play a crucial role in the future. In conclusion, uh, at present, there are a lot of people who are suffering from hunger, but in the long run, there are a lot of effective ways. Thank you. ちょうど2分です。なんかちょっといつもと違った形でやっているので、なんかやりづらいってはやりづらいですね。Today's topic is agree or disagree. Alcohol is more damaging to society than tobacco. This is very difficult question because both do a lot of damage to our health. And some may insist alcohol has more direct impact, such as traffic accident by drunken driver. Violence and crimes, but these have not been so serious so far in Japan because Japanese people are pretty sensible. So I disagree with that. Tobacco is more damaging. Today I'm going to talk about three things: mortality, long-term health issue, and second, smoking. First, let's talk about mortality. According to the data of World Health Organization, tobacco kills about 8 million people every year worldwide, and this figure is more than three times as large as that of alcohol. Secondly, smoking habit has caused long-term health issue. For example, it is among the causes of many kinds of cancers like stomach, liver, and of course lung cancer. Also, it might lead to strokes and heart attacks, which directly cause death. Finally, let's talk about second, smoking. The number 8 million I mentioned includes that of 1.3 million non-smokers being exposed to second-hand smoking. So if you have a heavy smoker in your friend or family members, you have risk suffering from cardiovascular and respiratory problems. In conclusion, tobacco is more damaging to society than alcohol. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to say. If you like alcohol, alcohol gives you happiness maybe every night. Thank you very much. これはちょっとなんか、時間が余ったんで、余力を入れたんで、まあまあ、いいんじゃないでしょうか。はい、次。次。can keep animals ですね。Today's topic is, can keeping animals in captivity be justified? My answer is strongly no. It's mainly because of animal welfare. Today I'm going to talk about two things: overemphasis on economic growth and strong, no. It's too late to rest a rich ecosystem. Firstly, Many countries have been focusing too much on economic growth. As a result, a large-scale development has been making a lot of animals and plants disappear very quickly. This biodiversity loss and ecosystem devastation is going much faster than we can imagine. As now, it's almost impossible to restore a rich ecosystem. All we have to do is to make a habitat for wildlife. These days, we have encountered a lot of wildlife like bears, birds, and monkeys. They need a place to live indifferent from human residents. Secondly, zoos and aquariums a good place, used to be a good place for human entertainment, and even now, some may insist that they are important to keep endangered species and raise awareness of importance of maintaining ecosystem. But it's too late. Ecosystem has destroyed too much, and too many species are already extinct. Now, we should let all wildlife be free from human entertainment. In conclusion, keeping animals in captivity cannot be justified anymore. Thank you. あんまり良くないな。Okay, today's topic is, are space exploration programs worth their cost? My answer is clearly yes. Today I'm going to talk about three things: low cost, current practice, and future prospect. Firstly, let's talk about the actual cost of space exploration. You might think it is quite expensive, but in fact, it is not. For example, US expenditure on NASA is about only 0.5% of total federal budget. Despite a lot of advantages, the cost is quite low. Secondly, let's talk about the current practices. For example, we can gain rather precise weather forecast thanks to the meteorological satellite. These days, we have encountered a lot of sudden torrential rain and snow. So, to know about where thick clouds are and when they arrive is very important. Also, satellites can observe surface of the Earth, which gives us a lot of real-time information of natural disasters like major earthquakes and tsunami, which enables us to take quick action. Finally, let's talk about the future prospect. For one thing, space exploration inspires a lot of students and researchers in STEM field. Also, it can detect new energy sources and rare earth metals. Also, it can create a lot of spin-off benefit like water purification, carbon fiber, and preserved food. In conclusion, it's obvious that space exploration programs are worth the cost. Thank you. はい、次。これはね、なんかちょっと改訂したんでいいねかな。Today's topic is whether the media exaggerates the problem of children crimes. My answer is clearly no. On the contrary, media may underestimate the problem of children crimes. Today, I'm going to talk about two things: actual number and seriousness. Firstly, let's think about the actual number of children crimes. Officially, it is reported the number of children crimes has been decreasing since around 2000, but I don't think so. There are a lot of hidden juvenile crimes. For example, there are a lot of bullyings in schools, and these days we have seen some students punch and kick some other student, on social media, and even these videos are spread. Schools and education board don't easily admit the fact. Also, there are a lot of cyberbullying as well, which causes vulnerable students to give up their schools or even to kill themselves. If these incidents are included in the juvenile crimes, the number will be larger. Secondly, And the seriousness. These days, the crimes using internet has become more and more serious. They are hard to catch because they change location, and their network is too complicated to identify. Also, they sometimes kill vulnerable senior citizens, and the total amount loss is very large. In conclusion, the media don't completely report the actual number and the seriousness of German crimes. Thank you. はい。では、次。毎回なんか少しずつ変わってるんですよね。200語ぐらい言ってると思うんですけど、次。一応今、ストップウォッチ持ちながら、まあ、だいたい2分で言ってますわ。2分以内で。はい。Today's topic is Japan doing enough to ensure its national security? ね。My answer is clearly no. On the contrary, Japan is a hotbed for hacking attacks and cyber crimes. Today, I'm going to talk about two important factors. Hacking attacks by big organizations and foreign government, and decoding by quantum computing. Firstly, let's talk about hacking attacks by big organizations and foreign government. These are not only about stealing money, but also about espionage, attacks on infrastructure, and manipulating public opinion. For example, about 1 year ago, there were large-scale hacking attacks on bank accounts of stock exchange market, and a lot of stocks were bought and sold at the disposal of criminals. And one assumption is that these criminals were Russian syndicate led by Russian government. Also, and Asapro Corporation were hit by large-scale hacking attacks as well. Now we are caught in a crossfire of hacking attacks anytime, anywhere. Secondly, quantum computing has a great potential for breaking current encryption. Now, almost everything online, from bank transaction to national security secret, largely depend on complicated code. However, quantum computers, once powerful enough, could decode them in seconds. As a result, all the communication and data would be completely vulnerable. But Japanese government hasn't dealt with it yet. In conclusion, Japan isn't enough to ensure its national security. Thank you. よし。Today's topic is, should there be more decentralization? My answer is yes. Today I'm going to talk about the two key factors. A big city is except for capital city, Tokyo, and smart agricultural cities. Firstly, let's talk about the big cities except for Tokyo. From global point of view, compared with primary cities like Seoul in South Korea and Bangkok in Thailand, Japan has a lot of big cities except for Tokyo, like Yokohama, Osaka, Nagoya, and other big cities whose population is more than 1 million. And all these big cities have a big port where there are a lot of international trade, big terminals with which people can easily access the cities, and the industrial and commercial district, which gives a lot of jobs to local people. Also, they have entertainment places which young people in rural area want to visit. Secondly, let's talk about smart agriculture cities. You might think agriculture has a lack of young successors, but from global point of view again, it is often said in 2050 the world population will become 10 billion, and we will surely face food depression due to overpopulation. Agriculture has a good potential. Agriculture cities have a promising future. Also, there are large scale of infrastructure, agriculture infrastructure in Japan. So all we have to do is recruiting young farmers and introducing smart technology. In conclusion, there should be more decentralization in Japan, and we should think more about big cities except for Tokyo and smart agriculture cities. Thank you. よし。ここですね。はい。最後ですね。70番。 Today's topic is scientific efforts to bring back extinct species a waste of time. My answer is relatively yes. Human beings have been destroying ecosystem too much. Today, I'm going to talk about overemphasis on economic growth and lack of fiscal value. Firstly, many countries have been focusing too much on economic growth. As a result, a large-scale development has been making a lot of animals and plants disappear very quickly. This biodiversity loss and ecosystem devastation is going much faster than we can imagine. As a result, while we try to bring back one extinct species, 10 new species might disappear according to scientific data. And the situation is getting worse. Despite a lot of challenges by climate change, there have been strong economic struggles between G7 and BRICS countries, and they will continue to develop infrastructure by reclaiming lands and cutting down a lot of trees. We cannot stop this conflict. Secondly, we have lack of ethical values. For example, we don't respect nature too much enough, and have been pursuing our convenience and economic growth too much to think about the future of our planet Earth. In conclusion, scientific efforts to bring back extinct species are a waste of time. It, it's it may be too late, but we should change our mindset from human-centered to nature or earth-centered. あれマイナスと一緒のやつ。まあ多分終わってるだろう。ということで、一応70番台お経スピーチでございました。はい。はい、ではごきげんよう、さようなら。